One of the best places to start when it comes to deciding what type of an app you might want to try to build with vibe coding like Lovable is to solve a problem that you've had, which is what I'm going to show you today. That this app that I'm super close to launching was born out of something that I wanted for myself, and once I created the solution for myself, thought, why don't I turn this into an app? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. What's up, guys? Kim Doyal here, and this is, I guess, probably video 2. I'm doing a small series of videos on all the behind-the-scenes things that I'm doing in terms of utilizing vibe coding to build assets and apps and my website. I did that last week. You can click the link in the comments if you want to check out the website video. But today what I want to show you is a tool that I've built based on, like I said in the beginning, a problem I had, which was I wanted a beautiful quiz as a lead generation tool that I could use, but that generated very specific types of results. And initially I thought about having it send a branded PDF, but at the end of the day, PDFs have a tendency, not always, maybe it's just me, but have a tendency to sit on our hard drives, right? So in this case, the custom results get sent via email. So what I'm going to show you today is an app that I have built from scratch called TypeQuiz, but I'm going to show you my quiz and we'll zip through that. So if you've already seen that, you could skip ahead if you want. And then I'm going to show you the coming soon page, which I also created via vibe coding. All of this has been done with Lovable, you guys. I am in love, pun intended, with Lovable. So I've created the landing page. I've got the home page of the website. And then, of course, I'm going to show you behind the scenes with the actual app, and we're going to build a quiz together. And then I'll let you know where things stand. There's a few things I have to wrap up, as well as the final stage, which would be the admin account and being able to create user accounts. All right, so this is the first page that I'm going to show you guys. This is the coming soon page. I have the link because I've not published the app yet, but I do have the link to this. I haven't pointed the domain name yet. So there is a short link in the description. There's a short link. So if you want to get on the early notification list, because I'm going to do like 100 accounts, super, super cheap. I need the feedback, I need the engagement, and I need you guys to tell me what is and isn't working in case I miss something. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and we're going to jump into the back of Lovable. So this is what you're seeing. This is the builder side of things. I call it the dashboard, the admin side. But let me show you my quiz because I didn't open that up for you. So let's go ahead. And I built this first. So I'm going to be launching, hopefully by the end of August, I have an AI community for women called The Business Within. And I'm going to tweak this quiz a little bit so that it is your Business Within AI archetype, because I'm really doubling down on all of this. Okay, so you see, very simple landing page. This is sort of a 3-page funnel, I guess, a quiz funnel, but I wanted something that was clean and simple. I've used a ton of different WordPress plugins. Now, the difference, maybe you might be wondering what makes this different than using a WordPress plugin. Well, first of all, I did the whole thing with AI based on my audience and my business, what I'm doing. So I actually created the questions. There are 8 archetypes, and you're going to see them. I created the questions and had ChatGPT help me in terms of weighting the answers, W-E-I-G-H-T-I-N-G. So what answer applies to which archetype. So I'm going to zip through this. You can see the quiz, but there's a couple things you want to see. Not sure why the image is loading slow. So let's go ahead. And I'll tell you this after having tested this a handful of times. I don't know that I would do 20 questions. The updated version that I am doing is 15 questions. I am also a fan student of neuroscience, so I like to kind of pull in the neuroscience side of things with product psychology. So I want this to be tangible and meaningful. That was the other piece for me when it came to the quiz. It's not just random ideas. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times when I went to do a quiz before, I'd be stuck, you know, and when I was really focused on content creation, I'd come up with these goofy little questions that were like, are you a course creator, a coach, or a marketer? This is the beauty of being able to give AI all of the answers and information about your business. Okay, we're almost done. Let's go ahead, and the results page is really what I was going for. So there's a couple little elements I want you to think about. So one, you can go back, and then next, very simple, I wanted the progress bar. Ta-da! So look at this page. This is not your typical, hey, check your email. And so you see there's 3 archetypes. You've got the primary, the support, and the growth edge. But I want to point out that it says that you hold all 8 archetypes within you. The snapshot reveals your dominant traits, your support energies, and your current edge for growth. So there's percentages here. But normally this bottom section here where it says your strengths, your challenges, strategic recommendations, you won't see that until you opt in. So normally there will be an opt-in. Obviously, I've taken this quiz a handful of times. Okay, so this is what created TypeQuiz. So we have already seen, this is the landing page. This is the home page once the app is actually live. And there's a few things. I'm going to tweak this. This is all sort of placeholder copy. There will be screenshots of each of these. There will be a 14-day trial. Okay, now let's jump in. And here's the interesting thing that I love. Another thing I love about Lovable is, I know it's corny, you guys, but is you see in the top right-hand corner of the dashboard up here, it says Manage Supabase. And then this little guy, this little kitty, is the GitHub. So Supabase creates all your databases and everything on the back end. I don't know how to build databases, you guys. I'm not a coder, like I've said umpteenth times. However, this login, we had turned off the login, and then Supabase flagged it as a security risk, so I turned it back on. Okay, so this is the TypeQuiz dashboard, and you see where it says Welcome Back Kim, because this is my account. Now, when you first start, it's going to say Welcome to TypeQuiz, and it's going to direct you to the setup guide. So I haven't put the videos in yet, but you'll be able to watch the videos to walk you through exactly how to do this. We'll go back to the dashboard. And what you're looking at, this will be how many quizzes you've created, how many have been completed, how many opt-ins you've gotten. So it's also going to tell you the progress. This is set up that people can take the quiz before opting in. I might do it as a version 2 where you can gate the quiz initially. But the thing is, you want to think about people taking a quiz, and by the time they get to the end, they're invested somewhat. And if they're going to want personalized email response after, that's where you put the opt-in. Okay, so they're invested by that point. But not everybody's necessarily going to do that. This is where your quizzes will display. And a couple things you'll see. These are green and it says archetype. Here's one that's a score-based quiz. There are 3 types of quizzes you can create within TypeQuiz. And so we have the archetype quiz generator, a score-based quiz, and a simple assessment. So let's jump into our quiz builder. So this is where you would start with everything. Now the business discovery, I'm going to edit this text, but when you click this button to get AI prompt ideas, there's 2 options here. If you already have all of your business in a project in ChatGPT or Claude, or maybe use Gemini and you've got all this stuff in there already, then you can literally just click, the prompt is copied. We're going to go ahead and skip that. Now, if you don't have that information, you can get general prompt ideas, and you'll see there's some colors that need to be tweaked there. This little bottom toast notification, that's what it's called, it'll let you know that it's copied. So then you can just take the prompt and go into one of those tools and get the information you need, because there's a few questions here. There's 4. You want to tell the platform about your business, and here's an example. So we've got some dummy content in here, so you have an idea as to what to put in. Your target customer, the core problem you solve, and then your primary offer. So I have some filler content in here. Let's go ahead and I'll just copy this. And I don't know if this will happen as quickly the first time you do this, simply because I've done this a few times. So I have no doubt that this is all stored in my account. Okay. The problem, and then your primary offer. Then you're going to click on Generate Quiz Strategy. So I put this up here, your business summary. Obviously, this is cut off, so this will all expand. But sometimes it takes a lot to do this, so you're going to be able to copy this if you want to store this information somewhere else. And now you're going to choose your quiz style. So again, I said we've got archetype, score-based, and simple assessment. So the archetype is probably the most involved. So we're going to select that. You just have to click on that, and then you'll get the option to define your quiz logic. So let's click here. Now what you're looking at, this is all of the suggested archetypes. You can edit these and you can add more. So you come in and read through this. And here's a suggestion, is that if you've got something trained on your voice and your language, take this and say, rewrite this in my language, or help me come up with a name. But often what gets in the way is that starting point, right? It's that blinking cursor. So go ahead, and if you click the pencil, you can change the name and you can change the description. Let's go ahead and save that. So it generated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can add a custom archetype in. So if you don't like any of those, edit them or add a new one. Or you can generate a new archetype. Pretty cool, right? All right, so here are the core outcomes. And you can edit these as well. Just come in and then save them. So these are the 3 that I've used in my quiz: the primary, support, and growth edge. So make sure and save that if you edit it. And this is telling you how the scoring and how the weighting, W-E-I-G-H-T-I-N-G, process is. Now this is something that took me a couple tries to do this. So in order to have a customized email sequence on the back end, and I'll probably do a training to show you guys how to do this once the app launches, but these are custom fields. So when you complete the quiz, this information gets sent to Kit, who's my email service provider, into your subscriber account. Then I can create an email and drop in those custom fields so it automatically populates that information. I can do it in the subject line, and this is where the customization comes in. Keep in mind, I have 8 archetypes, so I have had to write 8 email sequences. However, when I create these little code snippets, I just drop them in. I know that might sound more involved than you want, but I promise you it's not difficult. And once you do it once, it's done. Now we're going to generate our quiz questions. There we go. So it starts with your title and your subtitle. You can click the little AI icon and, oh, I like that, the DNA one. Let's do that one. What's your entrepreneurial DNA? That's kind of fun. And then you can also change the quiz subtitle. And now once you've got your title and subtitle done, go ahead and generate your quiz questions. So you can see we've got title, and the same thing, just like the archetypes, you can edit this and you can edit the answers. You can add an answer here, an option. Let's save that. You can also generate an additional question, or you can enter a new question. Okay, so just like the archetypes. Now, I don't think this is linked yet. It's not linked, but we'll just go ahead and jump over. Oh, it did. Oh, that was slow. Okay. Let me tell you, this has been an interesting journey with the template customizer because I'd had this visual page builder with content blocks and I needed to simplify it. The goal of this is to keep it simple because I'm really thinking of this, for lack of a better term, as just a simple quiz funnel. So you've got your landing, you've got your quizzes, and you've got your results. This is where I've left off. There's other things to show you, but there's some tweaks, so bear with me if it doesn't look exactly like this when it launches. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to select the quiz, and I was just working on this, so that quiz that I just created is not showing up here yet, but all of your quizzes will show up in your account in the drop down. So then you've got the quiz title, the description, and the welcome message. So you can edit any of this. Then we can also upload a logo. So let's go ahead and we'll do this really quick. And you see it's pretty tiny here. So you're going to come down, and I tried doing a slider, but we kept running into some challenges. So just increase the size of the logo here, and we'll go ahead and save that. And don't worry, you're going to be able to change colors and whatnot. I'm going to show you two sort of navigations here. So here's your landing. Then you have a quiz, and this won't scroll on your customers. And then you've got the results. And we're going to add some different animations, and I like doing the name field for emails also. So this is pretty boring. I want more animations, and I like the little wheel and the icon. So, but either way, so let's come back to the landing. So those are the 3 pages. Over on the left-hand side, underneath the template customizer heading here, you see design. So I am building out 4 simple templates so they don't all look exactly the same. Then you can come in and you can edit your colors here. So you can see, let's go ahead and do my pink. So it edits in real time, so you get to see what it looks like. Don't necessarily worry about the archetype, error, success, whatnot. The primary and secondary are probably key, but the biggest thing are these colors, right? And so it's really going to display on the results page. And you'll see the quiz too, that this has changed. I got to go a little thicker on that. Okay. And then you can also change the font, which will change in real time as well. So I might add a font size picker in terms of just the heading and subheading, because you can see how small that got. Layout, I don't know if we're going to do the full width, but you'll be able to turn these things off. And then if you want to edit some of the sizing, and then this is for your results, the animations. And then if you want to add custom CSS, I don't know if I'm going to keep that in there, so bear with me there. So the preview is not linked yet. And I don't know that we're actually going to have the preview because you can pretty much see what it looks like here. We may get rid of this scrolling here. So that is the template customizer. And then you'll be able to publish your quiz. And so here would be a link, and obviously this isn't real, but we will host your quiz for you if you want, or you can get the embed code. But the hosted page, you just want to make sure that you've got your title, and this will look more like the previews that you just saw, and you'll be able to edit this. So that white box will sit on something like this, like the blue, the purple. You can see how the background changes a little bit. And then meta information if you want 160 character SEO description. You can choose to turn the email opt-in off if you want. I know you would. And there'll be a way to integrate that. And in terms of the quiz instructions, that's just that how long it takes. You don't necessarily have to display that if you don't want. But this is embed code, and then you'll actually be able to preview this here. And then I'm not sure about this in terms of these instructions right out the chute, because the goal, of course, is to get it. Minimum viable, version 1, okay? So then we're going to go ahead and you would just click publish quiz, and then you get this URL. All right, so I'm not going to jump into that. Any quizzes that you create will sit here, and you should be able to come back and edit the quiz, just like I showed you there. And you can see a lot of it are the same, because I have tested many, many times. And then you can come in and delete your quizzes. I'm going to preload some options in terms of templates. I'd like to start with 6, so we'll have 2 archetype suggestions, 2 score-based quizzes, and 2 simple assessments. And then your analytics, once you start driving traffic, you'll be able to see what's going on here, how many views, quizzes started, completed, leads. And again, the qualified lead just means they signed up. So these are a little redundant. Here we'll show you for your specific quiz what the results are. And then, of course, recent activity. And then the last page is settings. So you'll be able to upload info here, edit your billing, integrations. So I've already connected this to Kit. I will probably do MailerLite and ActiveCampaign. And then you'll be able to add a webhook and maybe a Zapier make, I haven't decided. Update your password, delete your account. And then notifications in terms of how often do you want to be notified when people take the quiz. That could be fun initially, and then it might get a little tedious towards the end. So there you have it, guys. This is TypeQuiz. Now I'm going to jump back in, and what you're looking at the top, so these are all of the different pages. So I don't know if we'll be able to see this without me logging in. I've started building out the admin dashboard, but again, until the app is completely tied together, wrapped with a pretty bow, and I know that everything is working, There's not a whole lot of point in worrying about this because once it's done, the next step then, of course, is the admin access. And this is just so I can see my customers, the billing, our Stripe integration, all of that will happen here. And of course, my Kit account will be linked to the TypeQuiz customers. You can opt in for early access. So go ahead, and if you want to get on the early notification list, like I said, I'm going to do probably the first 100 customers will get a really good deal. That's it. Let me tell you though, okay, so I'm going to back up because like I've said before, I have a handful of projects. This is the first paid app. I have already done the PRD, Build My PRD, which stands for Product Requirements Document. I'm probably going to change the name. But if you are thinking about an app, this would give you the starting point as to what to tell a tool like Lovable what you want to create. And it walks you through that process, and then you can copy and paste that or download a document to look at that. So this has been a very interesting journey and one I am ridiculously excited about still. Like I've said so many times, I don't know if there's anything I've been as excited about since I started my business, to be honest with you. I think the opportunities here are phenomenal. And I want people to think about creating what I'm calling bespoke solutions. I had a call earlier with a client and I used that term. And the reason I use that term is because she's been in the finance space and has been a controller. She's up in Canada and has worked with so many people, multi-million-dollar accounts, and has trained bookkeepers. She's got all of this wisdom and experience, and she knows where women maybe get stuck and entrepreneurs with certain language when it comes to finance, and she wants to help them knock that foundation out of the park, for lack of a better word, and then you continue working with her, and we're building an app. Now, the thing about her is without all of that experience and all of that knowledge, she wouldn't know to create something as bespoke as we're going to create for her. So that's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about a problem you've had like this. I knew what I wanted with a quiz, and I did not want to dink around with a WordPress dashboard. God bless WordPress. It lit my career up, I should say, when I started. I was the WordPress chick for 10 years, but there's so many easier, faster, smoother ways to do things if that's not your forte. If you're all in with WordPress, run with it. Whatever is easiest for you. But I did not want to get stuck. So the problem I solved was one I had. And then I created this unique solution for myself that then I thought, this is amazing, because how many people get stuck with the quiz questions? And yes, you can absolutely go into any of the AI tools and just tell it to do it for you and map it out, but you still have to go put it into something. You still have to understand the weight of the questions and the answering and the scoring. So have fun. Again, my hashtag, just try it. I think you'd be surprised at how much easier it is. At the same time, I don't know why I jumped into the first two bigger tools I'm doing have extensive functionality. But I've been working on TypeQuiz part-time, probably 2.5 months, maybe 3. I don't even think that long at this point. But remember, I've also built my site, I've got another app, I've got clients, I've got other work to do. This is not my full-time thing. And so to be able to do this, I've learned a lot, and I work quite extensively with Claude or Gemini. I use ChatGPT, and I've learned where to do the prompting and the clearing up of issues and trouble instead of using credits in Lovable. Anyways, if you have any questions about vibe coding, let me know. I am hosting a workshop on August 21st called From AI User to AI Builder. And what we're going to do in that first workshop is I'm going to show you how to create a very simple 3-page lead magnet, an app or an asset. You can charge for it if you want, but you'll get enough of a solid grasp on how to do this that if you want to go further with a bigger app, you can. But I think this totally takes the idea of top of funnel, which is those things that we use to bring in the ideal customer subscriber into our world. Maybe it was a PDF before, or it was a quiz, or you've had an email course. These are all top of funnel, different ways to bring people into your email subscriber list. Well, now you can create tools. You can create real, tangible, helpful, valuable tools. And I will do another video on a couple of those that I'm playing with. And so just know that I really believe anybody can do this if you know the problem you're set out to solve. If it's a genuine problem, and before you invest too much time and energy, maybe get validation on this. I've talked to enough friends and shared what I'm doing with enough people that I knew that the interest level here was there. And at the same time, because I'm not expecting to make $1 million the day I launch this, if I can get 10 people in, I know it's validated. That's it. It's that simple. Of course I want to scale and grow, but the goal is to get people in using it, and then you move on from there. And always remember, if you're going to jump into building apps, minimum viable. My friend has been telling me over and over, he's like, you don't need to do everything at once. And I learned that the hard way with my website and got greedy and broke a bunch of stuff. So it's okay to start with minimum viable and be in this for the long haul. Communicate the value, train your customers, train your subscribers, show them how to use what it is you're building. Anyways, that's all I've got for you guys today. As always, thanks for watching. I would love it if you have not subscribed to the channel to go ahead and subscribe, like this, comment, all the things. They all help. And the next video in this series is going to be my community and course platform. That should be end of August, but I will show you where we're at with that next week in the next video. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you next time.